when we think about the league without LeBron, when that day comes, whether it's the end of this season or the end of next season, what's that going to feel like for the world of the NBA? Q.
I think he'll get more appreciation for what he was able to do and who he was while he was out there, and the fact that what I'm saying that he took it to the max. He did everything he could do to squeeze all of the juice out of the orange, which was the basketball film. And I think no matter what people, obviously he's always a hot topic and GOAT and all of that stuff. Like, regardless of what you feel about him, you got to respect the way he's going about it, the way he's taking care of his body, the longevity he's been able to have, and the other thing, to be in that spotlight and to be on a couple of magazines since 8th grade, freshman year, or whatever, and to be basking to that spotlight and that microscope, for him to be having, like you said, the decision is like the one flaw. Like, come on now, me and Channing played in the league. We had careers nowhere near the stratosphere of who he was, but even us, we know, like, yo, you ain't got no blemishes on the record, boy. You did your thing. Now you stayed out the way. I don't understand exactly how you did it. It's some G14 classified things going on, but like, hey, I gotta tip the hat on that. You flawless in that category. So you gotta respect, the time he's been around and what he's been able to do, and the professionalism, the off the court and on the court, and keeping all of that intact. Like, that's been unbelievable.
I just think we've been jaded with what he's done. I think you look at the last 8 championships, there's been 8 different teams, right? And so then you look at and obviously what we love a story, right? So think about that first story is Bron's in Cleveland. They're going to the NBA Finals, and the team is just not good enough. He's not good enough at the time. He makes the decision. People like it or don't like it. Miami people loved it. He goes to Miami with the Heatles. Now he's in these big battles with San Antonio and Dallas. He comes back to Cleveland, goes to the NBA Finals against Steph, creates another big clash of the Titans with him. It's LeBron and his team and Kyrie versus the superstar small team of Steph, Batman versus Superman. Think about it. Like, what I like to say to people is, like, basketball is the greatest entertaining thing in the world, more than wrestling, more than cars, whatever you could say. LeBron is a God-given gift. You cannot replicate that, right? In people's minds, Steph can be replicated. That's why every kid is in the gym chucking up threes. But in actuality, neither one can be replicated. So when you have the God-given talent versus the guy who's built with skills, it is Superman versus Batman, and people love to see it. People love to see it. And then in reality, no one in the league is polarizing like that enough. Unfortunately, they all are kind of like, yeah, maybe. And Q, tell me, Luka's great, hasn't won. Joel Embiid's great, hasn't won. Is Milwaukee with Giannis? He is amazing. He won, but are they going to get back there? Who else is there? Wemby hasn't won. Look at these young guys. Like, who is next to say, give me that backpack, and then I'm going to go to the NBA Finals 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row? Even Shea in OKC, that's more of Shea's a guard version of Tim Duncan.
I don't know, though, with the way that the league has come, and Adam Silver in the league has done a great job at creating a parity and giving everybody a fair shot at getting somebody. That's why I don't know that there will be immediately the next guy. I think it's going to be a collective, because I think, like you just said, China, it's been 8 different champions the last 8 years. So that makes it hard for somebody to create that momentum. Now, you would look at SGA and say he has the opportunity. When you look at the way they structured the team, the draft capital they're going to have moving forward, and the way that the Presti's done a great job building that team as a franchise. And they have their main 3 guys just signed extensions, so they got 3-4 year runway, and they still can complement people around them. So you would look at that and say they have a chance, but until they actually go and repeat, we don't know, because that's really what gives that next guy that staying power, is like that ability to dominate and repeat and get back to the finals. Even if you don't win, everyone, just your presence and domination of being present there. So I don't know. I mean, this era, this immediate time right now, if LeBron just decides to leave, there may not be that one specific guy that says, hey, I stand above it. It may be a collective because it's going to always be, well, Shay's great, Luka's great, Joker's great, this guy's great, or whoever, and, Tatum's and Anthony Edwards, but it's going to be a collection of them because until somebody can separate and stand above, it's just going to be guys different year. He was the MVP. This year he should have been or whatever, but, like, who's going to run off 3-4 in a row like Joker did?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can, but again, okay, so LeBron has 3 parts. Obviously, his longevity, but then the access that people have to him, but then his ability to dominate the game in his facets. Now, later on the Lakers, yes, he won. He's getting older, and the teams were a little iffy up and down. So let's use pre-Lakers LeBron for this argument. Who else is going to have those 2 things that are polarizing to the world, where like everyone either loves them or hates them every single game? I dropped my kid off at a basketball practice, and I went grab lunch, and people were talking about, they were having an argument at the bar about how much they hate LeBron or how much they love him. There was no in between in that conversation.
You need a guy that people love or hate, right? I mean, it's important. I mean, like a guy like Richard Jefferson, everybody.
I hate him.
Hey, love me or hate me, just have an opinion about me.
That's right. You just want to be talked about.
Yeah, just have an opinion about me, and we're going to be fine.
Wait, Richard, what is going on? I'm sure you have some insights. You probably texted him already. Did LeBron tell you what this announcement entails?
I think Channing can also attest to this. It happens with the mics, don't worry. Channing can also attest to this, that Bron does what Bron wants, right? It's not like he's in the text chat being like, hey, guys, I got big news coming. Like, no, we find out just like everybody else, I don't like Q, you were saying this could be just like a ploy. It could be this. I don't know. That's why. What we're doing right now is something that I'll give him credit for. He knows how to he knows how to turn the flame up on the culture. He knows how to turn the flame up. And so now we're all sitting here waiting to see what he's going to be saying.
And right. I mean, you guys know him well. I mean, he likes to be playful too. I mean, he likes his jokes like this. I mean, when he was a young guy in the league and he did, all the different characters in those Nike commercials where he was the old guy and all. I mean, he likes to have fun in a way that you can't imagine, say, Michael Jordan or Bill Russell or Will Chamberlain doing stuff like that, right?
I mean, if you paid me as much as you paid him, I'm gonna be funny too.
But that's what you say. Like, it's hard to say because like none of this was available to these guys, and I think that's what makes those eras golden, because it could have been good or bad. We may not look at some of these people the same way if we had this type of access that they have in this day. I'm just saying.
A lot of people dodge bullets pre-social media. A lot of bullets.
I'm one of them.
JJ said it, a couple points of emphasis, but the big thing, he just wanted to see like an overall level of competitiveness, and it felt like other than that kind of end of the first half and start of the third quarter, it was there. How did you feel on the court in that sense?
In which quarter?
Sorry, so he said the end of the second quarter and the start of the third probably wasn't great. That was when Golden State made their push, but otherwise it felt like it was a pretty consistent effort from you.
Yeah, we came out flat after halftime, and just got back to it after that timeout. So it's just something we got to work on. We'll do that in practice this week.
You were able to get a full run in, at least in terms of minutes out there. How did that feel for you as you kind of get closer to the regular season now? Just getting some shots and getting a full win.
Yeah, it felt good. Just starting to get my legs underneath, and then just keep going out there and hoping, trying to be in my spots.
What do you think the importance is of this week now that you have for installs, offense, defense, before you see Golden State again on Sunday?
Yeah, it would be good. Their offense is a lot of moving and cutting and stuff, and that's something that we'll work on and install. And then on the offensive end, we're going to install stuff. So it'll be good to have this week.
Perspective on that Bronny putback dunk?
It's fire. The Bronny's my guy. Seen that multiple times, so I'm not too impressed. It happens all the time.
Dalton, how have the conversations been with JJ about sort of expectations for you and the things that you need to focus on?
What are the things?
How have the conversations been, and what have been the things they've been telling you to really focus on?
Just covering all the little mistakes, like a rookie would make. So just staying on top of that, and then they just want me to keep being aggressive on the offensive end, keep hunting my shots, and just be in the right spots at the right time, running to the corners.
When you're a young player who wants to do the right thing on defense and wants to be in the right position and is spending time and energy thinking about it, have you found that if you make a mistake on defense that it's affected confidence anywhere else? Like, do you think about it? Like, how are you doing with kind of rolling with those punches?
Well, if you make a mistake, you just go make it up. It's not good to make a mistake, but it happens. And then the big thing is making sure you just compete. So if you mess up, it's okay. Just keep competing.
Now, the Lakers and Warriors, they spent the summer fortifying their rotations. Golden State maybe spent more like the last week doing that, but LA adding a former #1 overall pick, DeAndre Ayton, Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart. While the Warriors, they added a little bit more championship pedigree to their locker room. They brought in Al Horford to bolster their front court here. And it's pretty amazing that these two, right, Steph Curry and LeBron James, they have played a combined 40 seasons now in the NBA, and yet still the expectation for both of these teams, it's championships. And I think I would put them maybe in that second tier in the Western Conference, second, third, depending on where you put OKC and everyone to follow. How do you look at the way these two teams, how their summers went here, Coach?
Well, they both made a lot of changes. I go to Golden State, Malika, because I think about Jimmy Butler and the impact he had last year.
Yeah.
He arrives 23-8 with him. And in that time, most importantly, they had the #1 defense in the NBA during that stretch. And they were able to play through Jimmy Butler when Steph was off the floor, and their free throw rate went through the roof. Obviously, you look at what the Lakers have done. They added DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart, as you mentioned. But can those guys be available? They have not been available the last couple of years on their respective teams. But I'm excited to see how Steve Kerr uses Jimmy Butler first training camp and the addition of Al Horford, which I think is going to be a really important addition for that squad.
The number I was up there for their training camp just a couple of days ago, and the number that everyone around the Golden State Warriors perk is excited about is 23-8. That's their record when Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy were all on the floor together since Jimmy was traded to this team. Now, obviously, injuries derailed the rest of their seasons, and if ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk. Mm-hmm. But when you're looking at the Golden State Warriors, they have a case to feel really good if they can stay healthy about their chances this year.
They do, but the 23-8 got them out in the second round. They're trying to win the championship. Now, mind you, Steph got injured. I get that part, but we don't know if they could have got past OKC with that roster that they had. And why I give the Lakers the slight edge. Look, both of these teams are going to be here come April, right? Both of these teams are going to be in the postseason. I give the Lakers the slight edge because they have a third option offensively in Austin Reeves. Mm-hmm. We don't know who the third option is for the Golden State Warriors. Is that going to be offensively? Is that going to be Kuminga? Are they going to rely on Buddy Hield? That's the question. And so when I think about Jonathan Kuminga, I think his ceiling is high because Buddy Hield is one dimension, right, when it comes to his three-point shooting and his shot making. But Jonathan Kuminga could get buckets in so many ways. And so, Coach, I'm coming to you because I want to ask you, it's about Steve Kerr and Jonathan Kuminga repairing or getting that relationship on target. You dealt with a similar type of personality of Michael Porter Jr., right? Remember when y'all made your championship run? You benched him in the fourth quarter because a certain player was playing well. How would you manage that situation if you were Steve Kerr in that locker room with Jonathan Kuminga? Well,
yeah, I think it's such a great point, Perk, and it comes down to communication. Steve's come out and said it. That communication is key. Him and Kuminga have a relationship, but they got to sit down in a room. And right now it's a battle between Steve Kerr saying, this is what we want, and then Kuminga saying, well, this is what I want. And that they have to find a way to marry that and merge that, because you look at what Jonathan Kuminga did in games 2, 3, 4, and 5 in that second series against Minnesota. Steph Curry got hurt. Kuminga became a focal point and showed out. They didn't win any of those games, but can he find a way to step up and be a part of this team off the bench? And most importantly, Steve said it, if he defends, he rebounds, and he runs, he's going to play.
Right.
If he does those things, he's going to have a greater chance to go out there and help impact. And I feel, as you mentioned with Michael Porter, I think Kuminga closes a lot of games because he's too young, too athletic, and too talented for them not to.
And you need that third option. Every team that didn't won a championship in the last, 5 years, Aaron Gordon was our third option. Last year, Chet Holmgren, you got to have that third option off.
And Jimmy Butler can take over a game with the best of them, right? We have certainly seen that. Kuminga, of course, he agreed to this 2-year deal with the Golden State Warriors, but all expectations are this is a contract that is very, very tradable. Everything, though, with the Golden State Warriors, it comes down to Steph Curry, beginning his 17th season, miraculously, somehow, in the NBA. So Steph is the all-time leader in three-pointers. He has scored over 25,000 points in his career, and he's already penned the resume that makes him the greatest Warrior of all time. He's the team's all-time leader in points, assists, threes, and steals. And Coach, I imagine that the night before you had to coach against Steph Curry, those weren't your most restful evenings, right? No sleep. That was team no sleep, right? But the one deficiency for Golden State, even in their championship dynasty years, it was always kind of their big man. Draymond Green, he revolutionized basketball because of their small ball. So this year, they have a little bit of a different look and feel. Why?
Well, they've added a proficient three-point shooting big man in Al Horford.
Right.
Champion, high character, culture. Steve Kerr talked about it. They haven't had this spacing 1 through 5 in a long time.
Good point.
And I think what Al's ability to stretch the floor, he's shooting 40% from three last 3 years in Boston, and a big part of them winning a championship. And I just want to show you a video right here. This is a play that Golden State has ran for years. They're 5-out action.
Okay.
They're going to play in the post. You have Steph Curry initiating the offense. He's hitting the ball to Quentin post, and they're going to play through Draymond Green. Great facilitator, 6 assists per game in his career. And now here's this split screen. Steph Curry has been coming off the screen shooting threes his whole career, but now you can see in this play as he cuts, you can see both defenders are down the floor. And just imagine, this is Quentin Post right here, Malika, but now putting Al Horford, a guy who made over 100 threes last year, the number of wide open shots that he's going to get is going to spread out their offense and make a really tough offensive team to guard even that much harder.
Yeah, especially when you look at the numbers, right, of what this matchup really made in heaven, as the graphic says.
Well, it's really interesting. Steve Kerr historically has not been a big pick and roll coach.
Yeah.
They haven't had maybe the players. You can see last year, 10 total pick and rolls with Steph Curry.
But then
now you're adding a guy last 10 years who's one of the most prolific pick and pop bigs the game has seen. So I think this is a match made in heaven. I know Steph Curry has to be really excited. And I want to show you one more clip here, Malika, that's going to show you Steph Curry coming down in transition, Quentin Post setting the drag screen, and you see right here, Steph's done his job. He's got 2 defenders on him, makes the right play, and whether the shot goes in or not, just imagine Al Horford knocking down shot after shot after shot.
J.J. Redick, Lakers taking a cautious approach with LeBron James ahead of his 23rd season. The Los Angeles Lakers officially kicked off training camp on Tuesday, but one major name was missing from the court, LeBron James. Head coach J.J. Redick explained after practice that LeBron is dealing with a minor nerve irritation in his glute, and given that he's heading into his unprecedented 23rd NBA season at age 40, the team is taking a deliberate and careful approach to his ramp-up during camp and preseason. It's probably going to be a longer runway leading up to opening night, Redick said. We're in uncharted territory here. After talking with the staff and with LeBron, we all agreed he may have pushed a little too hard in last year's training camp. And for me, as a first-year coach, having his full buy-in was incredible. But this year, we're being more methodical. He's got 22 seasons of wear and tear, and right now, he's dealing with a slight nerve irritation. So we're thinking long-term. There's really no blueprint for what LeBron is doing. No one has ever played 23 seasons in the NBA at this level. But what Redick is doing now is learning from how things were handled last season and adjusting to make sure the Lakers have their leader healthy and ready for the stretch that truly matters, the regular season and beyond. You're going to hear me say this a lot. It's uncharted territory, Redick emphasized. There's no roadmap for a player who's logged this many minutes, carried this much responsibility on both ends of the floor, for this long. We asked a lot from him last year, especially early in camp, and now we're working together to find what truly works best. The good news? LeBron is fully aligned with the plan. Everyone, from the coaching staff to the medical team, is on the same page. Still, there's no confirmation yet on whether the plan includes LeBron suiting up for any of the Lakers' 6 preseason games. It'd be great if he did. Of course, Redick admitted. We'd love to see it. But if not, we'll make it work. While seeing LeBron in preseason action would certainly help build chemistry, especially alongside Luka Doncic and the other new starters, health comes first. The Lakers are making it clear, this season is a marathon, not a sprint. LeBron on training camp plans, we'll figure it out. When LeBron James spoke at Lakers Media Day, he echoed Redick's approach, it's all about being smart, not rushing, and staying engaged. We're still figuring it out, LeBron told ESPN when asked about his camp and preseason availability. Of course, I want to be on the floor as much as possible, but we all know where I'm at, physically and mentally, and the coaching staff knows it too. We just want to make sure we're aligned when the time comes to step on the court. This is year 23 for me. I've made huge strides this off-season. I've been training all summer. But even when I'm not on the court, I'm still locked in. I'm tuned into everything we're building. That's what matters most. As training camp progresses, the Lakers' approach with LeBron has sparked discussion across the league. While some fans are eager to see James back on the court as soon as possible, most analysts agree that the team is making the right call by managing his workload from day one. Inside the organization, the message is clear, preserving LeBron's health and effectiveness over the course of an 82-game season, and potentially a deep playoff run, is far more important than a strong start in October. The decision to ease him in slowly isn't just about his age, but about sustainability. The Lakers are building their strategy around maximizing his impact when it matters most. Beyond LeBron, this also gives new head coach J.J. Redick a valuable opportunity to assess the rest of the roster more closely. With James sitting out portions of training camp and potentially the preseason, younger players and recent acquisitions are getting extended reps in practice, a crucial factor as Redick shapes his rotation and offensive system. Reports from camp indicate that Redick has already started experimenting with lineups that don't rely solely on LeBron initiating the offense. That includes more touches for Luka Doncic in primary ball-handling situations, as well as a larger role for supporting pieces like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. The hope is that, by spreading the responsibility, the Lakers can reduce the physical burden on James while improving overall team fluidity. LeBron's role off the court has also taken on new importance. Several teammates and staff members have noted how engaged he's been despite limited on-court participation, constantly communicating, observing drills closely, and offering feedback to younger players. It's a continuation of his evolution into more of a mentor figure, one who still leads by example but also understands the power of his presence and voice in building team culture. Around the league, other teams are taking notice. The cautious strategy mirrors what the Spurs did in the later years of Tim Duncan's career, or what Miami has done with Jimmy Butler in recent seasons, prioritizing long-term readiness over short-term gains. In LeBron's case, the stakes are even higher. Not only is he still playing at an elite level in year 23, but the team around him has been reshaped to support one final push toward another championship. As for LeBron himself, he remains focused and optimistic. Speaking briefly to reporters after Media Day, he emphasized his commitment to doing whatever is needed, whether that means leading on the court, guiding from the sidelines, or stepping back when necessary to ensure his body holds up for the full campaign. The question now becomes how this slower ramp-up will affect the Lakers' early season performance. Will the chemistry develop fast enough? Can the team find its rhythm without relying too heavily on James in October and November? And when he does return in full, will the calculated patience pay off? One thing is clear, the Lakers and LeBron are thinking bigger than just the next game. They're thinking about April, about June, about legacy. And in year 23, every decision matters that much more.